أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Have you ever had that time in life where in the morning you looked outside and the weather seemed cold, so you put on a jacket? You go outside and later in the day it becomes hot and you thought, really shouldn't wear a jacket today. Have you ever had that time where you decided to go to the park with your friends and you didn't really have a good time because the park was packed or it just didn't turn out to be a good day and you thought, I wish I stayed at home today? Have you ever had that time where you decided to go to a restaurant to eat food and you thought, I really just wished I ate home food today because the food wasn't that great? And have you ever let these negative experiences, these negative feelings really bog you down, really ruin your day and you're like, the day was ruined because I did this? Well, not anymore. Last week we spoke about dua number 33 of Sahifa Sajjadiya, the dua of Istikhara, and we spoke about how Istikhara is not just an exclusive process for when you're really baffled. Rather, it's an active connection between you and Allah where you seek the best from Allah in every single circumstance in your life. And we spoke about the importance of keeping connected to Allah and asking for the best in everything that we do, because surely we want to make sure everything we do is for the best. We want to make sure we make all the correct decisions. Now, am I saying when we do this istikhara, we're never going to have that time where, for example, things turn out in the way that we didn't really expect? Things turn out to seem negative. We go to the park and we will never have a bad time at the park. Not necessarily. Now you're going to be like, well, what's the point of istikhara then? I wanted to make sure everything turns out good. But here, there's another side of the coin of istikhara which we have to understand. And if you recited dua, dua number 33, you would have understood this by now. In the dua, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says something quite beautiful. He says, وَأَلْهِمْنَا مَعْرِفَةَ الْإِخْتِيَارِ وَاجْعَلْ ذَلِكَ ذَرِيعَةً إِلَى الرِّضَى بِمَا قَضَيْتَ وَالتَّسْلِيمِ لِمَا حَكَمْتَ. Ya Allah, inspire me with the ma'rifah of choosing, and make this a means for me to be pleased with your decree and satisfied with that which you have ordained, submissive to that which you have ordained. You see, once we do istikhara and ask Allah from the best, you have to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's watchful eye is always over you. Therefore, we believe in decree. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a decree for us, a plan for us. Therefore, in every circumstance, you have to understand that Allah is watching. Now that you've asked for the best, whatever's happening is for the best, but you have to take the lessons from it and make sure it gives you a positive mindset. Make sure you take a positive mindset into everything. You see, when you, for example, wore that jacket on the wrong day, even if it's be as simple as that lesson that you have to really check the weather properly before you leave in the morning, that's a positive thing. And that will allow you to be satisfied with what happened. You know, those times where you went to the park and you didn't enjoy it, maybe if you stayed at home, things would have been worse. Maybe you would have been even more bored. Maybe you would have committed sins that you didn't commit by going to the park. So maybe it was still the best thing for you. Maybe it was still a good thing for you. But this positive mindset doesn't come until and unless you have this connection with Allah where you ask Him for the best and then you're satisfied with His decree. Once you're satisfied with His decree, this positive mindset will really enrich your life. Because then everything that happens in your life, you'll be taking positives. You'll be taking lessons. You'll always be in this positive mindset of trying to improve on everything or taking lessons from everything to make sure everything that happens in your life gives you a positive lesson and you build on it. Then you'll be satisfied and have a good time in everything that you do in your life. Then nothing is negative. And how, we say, Amir al-Mu'mineen beautifully says in Dua Kumail, وَكَمْ مِنْ عِثَارٍ وَقَيْتَ وَكَمْ مِنْ مَكْرُوهٍ دَفَعَتَ. Ya Allah, how many times have you prevented us from slips? How many times have you defended us from that which is hateful? How do we know when Allah is actually protecting us from something which is bad? You know that event that you wish you went to and then you're like, you stayed at home for some random reason and then later on you regretted it. How did you not know that journey would have been bad for you? That time when you went to the park and you didn't enjoy it, how did you not know it was still the better thing for you and staying at home would have caused a slip? We have to be satisfied with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree. Now I hope you don't mind me extending this towards the exclusive istikhara that we do. And I've seen this in the community, which is why I'd like to briefly mention it. There are times people go to do a khira from the Quran in a big decision because they're confused or because they just want that confirmation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it's a huge decision. When they do this, the khira comes out the way they didn't want it to come out. They didn't like the decision. So what do? They do what they wanted to do anyway. This, our scholars have strongly spoken against. Because now, if you think about it, you've literally gone to Allah's book to get Allah's decision for what is best for you at this moment. And when you took that decision, you then went directly against it. It's like you said, God, I don't like your decision. Look how audacious that sounds. And I've seen it where people have done this. They've gone against the istikhara that came from the Quran, and things have ended up to be disastrous. This is incorrect. If you go down that route of having that khairah from the Quran, you have to be satisfied with the answer that comes out, whether you like it or you don't. Further down in that dua, Imam Sajjadiya alayhi salam beautifully says, Ya Allah, habbib ilayna ma nakrahu min qada'ik. Make us love that which we hate from your qada, from your decree. وَسَهِّلْ عَلَيْنَا مَا نَسْتَصْعِبُ مِنْ حُكْمِكَ. And make easy for us the difficult decisions that you have decreed for us. Make it easy for us, Ya Allah. Because there's times where we won't enjoy it. There's times where the circumstances will be difficult and we'll be like, Allah, why is this happening to me? But maybe there's something good in it for you. Maybe there's something important in it for you that you needed to gain. There's also times where people have come to me and said, I've done an istikhara and it didn't really turn out to be what the istikhara said. So for example, they wanted to open a business and they went to do istikhara and it came out really good. And they opened a business and everything went haywire. It failed. The business was a failure. And they said, I went to do an istikhara from the Quran, I got this decision and things went haywire. What happened here? Well, maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling you that experience was really important for you. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that failure was important. That time when things went haywire was important because there were important life lessons you would gain from them, that you needed to gain from them. But unfortunately, how many of us don't have this mindset of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree, being satisfied with this decree, and therefore we've missed all of these positive lessons. We've not taken them on the chin. Here, when you gain this secret of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's decree and pleasure in His decree, life will change, because in every step in life you'll be taking positives along the way. And this is the secret of the other side of the coin of istikhara, seeking the best from Allah, understanding that what Allah wants for you is best, and then when any circumstance arises, understanding that Allah's watchful eye is over you. Therefore, there must be something positive in this time. And I now leave you with the words of Imam al-Hussein salawatullah wasalamuhu alayh. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says something quite amazing. On the plains of Karbala, when his son Aliyun al-Asghar was killed in his arms and he was walking back and forth, wondering how to tell Rabab what had happened, he said, رِضًا بِقَضَائِهِ وَتَسْلِيمًا لِأَمْرِهِ. Ya Allah, we are pleased with your decree and submissive to your command. Even in such a difficult circumstance, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam had that satisfaction with Allah's decree, such that some of the Masa'ib report that when Ali al-Asghar was martyred, he looked up to the skies and said, Ya Allah, my only consolation or comfort at this time is to understand you are watching. And therefore, if you want to gain this secret of rida, this secret of satisfaction with Allah's decree, then we have to understand that Allah's watchful eye is always watching over us. And therefore, there must be always something positive happening in our circumstances. Inshallah, we can keep this alive in our hearts through the remembrance of Imam al-Hussein and through our supplications. Wa akhira da'wana an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Keep supplicating. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.